army that is able to drown the world. Hey guys,
Hello.
welcome back to our YouTube channel. It's your
Welcome.
girl Adejoke here, of
And it
course.
is Teni. Welcome to the Echoes of Our Voices.
Now you guys back. Thank you for staying tuned.
Yes. So our topic for today, we're going to be talking about different shockers that we didn't really experience until we came to the US. So basically, things that surprised us, that shocked us, that was more of like a foreign concept to us that we might have heard of, but we didn't actually know until we got
Absolutely.
here and then we experienced it. So Jay, what was one thing that you noticed that was different, from back home compared to here?
I think the top thing on my list would be the fact that I think it's I don't want to say it's ignorance, but I think a lot of people here would ask you, "Hey, where are you from?" I'm from Nigeria, of course. And then the next question that follows is, "Oh, I used to have a friend. James is from Ghana. Do you know him?" And I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute. Africa is a continent, and Nigeria is a country in Africa. I don't even know everyone in Nigeria. How would I even know
I don't
someone
even know everybody in my
in
city.
Ghana?"
Yeah.
So I don't know if the ignorance is that not knowing that African is a continent, or it's just, just
Mm.
ignorance.
Okay, so basically thinking that Africa is a country, right? Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It is a continent if you're watching this video. And I'm
Yes,
from
yeah,
Nigeria, a
yeah,
country in the continent Africa.
yes. Nigeria is West Africa. It's a country by itself. It's not related to Ghana. Shout out to my Ghanaian folks though.
We love you
But
guys.
yes, one love.
Chale,
Oh, yes,
all the
Charlie.
Chales in the building.
Okay, so for me, one thing that shocked me, I think it was just people thinking that I was speaking a different language because of my accent. I've been asked so many times, "Oh, are you speaking French?" The only French I know is "Comment ça va?" and "Ça va
Ça va
bien,"
bien,
"Je
merci,
m'appelle," like
au
that's it.
revoir.
Like my French is probably like fifth grade level. Like my
Uh-huh.
French is not like that good, but it's there, but it's not like a native speaker basically. So there's people thinking that you're speaking a different language because of the accent, and because of that you have to like code switch and change your accent so that people will understand you and actually realize that you're speaking English. And also, just so you know, Nigeria is a former British colony, so we actually do speak English. That's our official language.
British English.
Yeah,
And
but we speak English.
for come to think of it, I don't know if it's just like not just being patient or giving grace. I've noticed that whenever I speak, and not just me, some of my friends from Nigeria, when we speak to people here, they tend not to maybe understand or even hear. Like you have to repeat yourself,
Mm,
oftentimes. I don't know if it's a thing of not, wanting to
just
just pay
pay
attention or
attention.
just give grace to listen, because we come from Nigeria and we hear, we relate with everyone, we hear what they're saying.
Yeah,
And when they're
like we
talking to us,
understand.
like we know that, oh, this is what this person is saying. We have patience, we have co-workers that, talk to us, and we
Hmm.
don't have to question like, hey, can you repeat yourself? I don't know, it's just one of those things we struggle with here, but
Yeah, but
it's all good.
yeah, it's all good. It's just part of the experience. Like just people thinking that, oh, you have an accent. I'm like, yeah, everybody has an accent. As long as you speak a language, you're
Mhm.
going to have an accent based on what language it is that you're speaking. Like an American, if they speak French, they spoke French, they'll probably have a little bit of an American accent with the French. So either way, everybody has an accent.
They
So
don't even have to speak French before they have an accent, because if they come to Nigeria, they'll have an accent because they'll
right.
speak differently from
Mm-hmm.
everyone in Nigeria. Same thing with people coming
Exactly.
from British, even Ghanaians, sorry, have a different accent from Nigeria. So it's a thing. What
Yeah.
country you're from determines how you would speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think giving
Exactly.
grace to people and maybe trying to slow down and understand, maybe it will make the world a better place.
Exactly. So
No
give
hard
grace to
feelings though.
people. Don't be quick to push them out because you can't seem to understand their accent. At least try to pay attention. And then if you genuinely can't understand, then there's nothing wrong with asking them. But it's always nice to at least slow down, pause, and listen. But yes.
Third thing is when I greet people, hello, good morning. The response I often get most times is oversharing. And when I mean oversharing is, with a good morning I can get the story of someone's life, like, oh, how, they were born, or how their parents, were in the military,
Or they
or how they're
divorced.
divorced and things like
Mm.
that. Like, I think oversharing is something here, like,
Yeah,
you
they
say
they seem very
something.
vulnerable to sharing their experiences with strangers. That one will never
Yeah,
most times it
that's a
doesn't
big
happen.
culture shock for us,
Yeah.
because in Nigeria people hide things a lot. Like, people are, are pregnant, trying to get married. They
Some
won't tell
people,
everybody. They'll just hide it. But here, before the belly they even come out.
they've already
In
announced,
short, the
and
day
it's,
they
I
they
mean,
do the test
the test
and it
results
says
people already
positive,
know. Yeah,
like everyone already knows.
so
Like they're
it's
already
kind of
making videos.
nice.
I mean, it's cool. Now we're not trying to bash things like that, but we're just
It's just
saying
something
things that
that's
are like
different.
shocking
Mm-hmm.
to us, and
Yeah,
things we've had to like be like, oh my goodness, so this is real.
yeah.
So yeah,
But
that
this,
was that was a big one for me.
mm-hmm.
Oversharing, I'd
Oh
say,
yeah, yeah.
oversharing, co-workers, people you don't even know. Like you meet people at the mall,
In the
and you
elevator,
just say hi, haha, you're gone. If you're going somewhere and is you need to be there as soon as possible. Maybe don't say good morning. Maybe don't say hi, or maybe you say hi
just
and
nod,
smile and just block your ears or
nod,
something.
wave.
For real. But yeah.
But yes. Okay, so for me, another thing that was a culture shock was seeing how people dress casually to important events. Like when I was in college, I would literally see my classmates wearing pajamas to class. Like I'm not kidding. Like flannel with the like the plaid print. People would wear that as clothing. And you can tell this is pajamas. Like there's no way this. I mean, maybe it's like their own fashion sense. I'm not trying to bash anyone's fashion, but just to me, it's surprising because Nigeria, they have this high sense of like the culture of dressing in Nigeria. Like, look at how we even dress. You gotta be flamboyant for everything. You gotta show up and show out. You can't just
Show
dress.
off.
You can't just dress anyhow. For our weddings, our church, everything, we dress to the max. So just seeing people like dressed in like pajamas and like sweatpants and gym clothes to class was shocking to me because I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, this is how it is. And slowly, I feel like it started influencing me because I started dressing. Not like, well, I'll never
Ooh.
pajamas. I'll never wear pajamas, no. But slowly like starting to dress more and more casual was like that was like part of the influence. So now I'm starting to unlearn, my ways in college. Yes.
I think not just even school, like church. Like if you go to church on Sunday, I remember when I just came, I brought some of my African attire, of course, and I was still like, yeah, I'm gonna wear some of this to church because I'm not going to a party. I don't even know anyone that was doing a party at that time. But then I would wear one of those attires to church on Sunday, and everybody would say, "Oh, you look so beautiful." It became a deal. I was like, every Sunday, I had to like tell myself, "Okay, calm down. Wo. What is going on here?" Because
Don't dress too
like every Sunday, someone is always telling me, "You look so good. You look so beautiful."
much.
Like it was kind of like something strange because you're dressed
Yeah.
at church in Nigeria. Everybody's already looking fine on a Sunday. Everybody's
Oh
already
yeah.
looking, all fly,
To
all
the
good,
max. Yeah.
and all that. So it was kind of shocking to me as well. And then I ended up also wearing the same, wearing nice attire to church and also dancing. And apparently, I ended up being the only person in the church wearing something flamboyant and also dancing at the same time.
Mm.
And at some point, I told myself, "Wait, girl, we gotta slow things down here. It's different." So
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing for me for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, another thing for me was the amount of bills that you pay here, especially with
Ooh,
the cell service. So I didn't realize that you have to pay a monthly subscription for your cellular service, like your like AT&T, T-Mobile. Like in Nigeria, we basically pay for like a scratch card. You load it onto your phone, and then when that expires, or when you've run out of the
exhausted.
airtime, then you buy more. But there's no like monthly payment. So one time I traveled to Chicago, and the thing is, if your monthly subscription expires, nobody can call you. At least in Nigeria, if your
Credit.
airtime is done, you can at least still get calls, but you just won't be able to call people. So this time I went to Chicago and then I got lost from the on the train. The person I was with, she thought I was behind her. So we kind of when everybody's coming out of the train, crowd everywhere. And Chicago is so cold. I was like, how am I going to get back to where I was going? So basically, I had to ask one of the security guards at the train station, very nice person, and then we now had to call my friend that was with. That's how I found my way. If not, well, the way code that finished me in Chicago. So that one has been a lesson. So since then, anytime as soon as they send me a reminder, oh your turn is about to
That
renew.
expire.
I even have auto renew now. I don't even have energy to be getting stuck anywhere. So if you're coming, make sure that you have the set out time to make sure you're paying your cellular bills on time because you will just be stranded somewhere. You won't be able to call anyone, and nobody can call you either. So it's not a good situation to be in.
Yeah, that was a big
Yeah.
one for me as well. And even though you have some, free calls, like you can download apps and use them to call, you still need to be connected to the Wi-Fi.
Hmm.
So if you're not in a place where you have connectivity, then that's like, you can't reach anyone, no one can reach
Yeah.
you. And that
Scary
can be a
feeling.
very scary, scary
Yeah.
situation, of course. So that's one thing we were not told. And the billing part, Man, as you're getting your paycheck, you gotta pay bills. You're paying your internet, lights bill.
Gone.
It's billed separately. Lights, your rent,
Water, even air.
water,
They'll probably
trash,
soon start billing for air. Thank God they've
trash,
not started billing for air.
and all
But
the good stuff. Like it's something that people need to. I mean, people make money here, but as you're making the money, it's getting out of your account. It's
yeah,
being
it's
you're using it
gone.
to pay bills. That was another culture shock.
Yeah.
Another one is I'm trying to think of one right now.
I think the way, like, the culture about not being able to share your opinions or your beliefs
Oh
openly.
yeah,
Like in Nigeria, people are like preaching on buses and the markets, everywhere you go.
mhm.
But in like here in
And I
America,
think
it's
it's
not.
just when it comes to faith, because guess what? People share other things and they're bold about different things. But when it
Mm,
comes to faith, I think a lot of people are taking a step back. I don't know if it's fear or, the social environment or even the
mm,
workplace. I think it's not really, really what's the English word now? Is it convenient for people to share such? Or people are
mm.
holding
It's
back
not
because of fear.
encouraged.
Yeah,
Mm,
it's not encouraged, and people
yeah,
people are holding back from
fear
sharing
of
their faith or being attacked
retaliation.
or yeah.
Yes, they don't want any retaliation from
Mm-hmm.
their peers, from the higher up, so they tend to cower back in expressing their. And I'm not like saying you should harass people.
Of course.
No, like if you're sharing your faith and someone is not, like, you don't have to harass them, but it's still nice to be able to freely
Mm-hmm.
share your faith without feeling like you have to apologize for it.
Right, and the way you can even talk to somebody like in Nigeria, you can walk up to somebody and share your faith. Like here, you can like it's kind of scary because you don't want to walk up to someone and then get bashed or you're charged for something because
Mm,
it can be termed harassment. If they don't call you into their space, you don't just walk into people's space.
right, you got
I
to
think
get
that's
an
also part of
invitation.
it. So that was a culture, shock for
Oh
me.
yeah, because in
You know,
Nigeria, I'm so used to like people like preaching on the
oh yeah,
streets.
in the
You hear
bus.
like the prayers in the morning, 5 a.m. You're hearing like yeah.
You
So
can't even
it's
make noise here. Like the one that
eh.
the churches in Nigeria
Churches
have
are
like
like
speaker.
speakers outside. Try that way, though. We'll
You
call police
cannot,
on you. So
you
yeah, it's
cannot, you
definitely
cannot
it's
for
a lot
sure do that.
different. But yes.
Another thing is people thinking that in Africa we don't have like nice houses, we
Oh
don't have high schools, we like live with like the zoo is like close to the house or something, or we relate with animals or something. I think a lot of the movies have portrayed Africa to be a country where like animals are like walking around the streets or
yeah.
something. Man, you cannot see a lion walking on the street in Africa. Or in Nigeria, you cannot even see.
I've not seen a lion with my two eyes in Nigeria before in my life. We
Oh,
don't even
I
have
did in the
lions in
zoo
West
though.
Africa.
I didn't in the
Lions are
zoo. In the zoo, but
in the zoo, yeah,
like not
maybe,
like
but not.
walking or
Yeah.
like we live in a zoo or something. You pay to go watch this, just like you pay here to go to the zoo.
Mm.
So when people like are like, oh, I thought did it. I'm like, nope, that's not how it works. And then I remember one of my friends being asked that, oh, you're doing your masters in the school. How did you go to high school? I thought there was no high school in Nigeria. That was quite demeaning. I think it's coming from a place of ignorance too. People don't read, people don't study. So thinking we don't have high schools was a big shock for me because we do. We have universities as well. That's why most of us earned our first degree before coming here for our masters.
Masters,
So
yeah.
no cap. That one. Orongo.
Wrong. Please, can you explain what wrong means?
It means it's
It's
wrong. It is
you guys
wrong.
will be hearing like a little doses of Yoruba, so at least you will
Because
learn.
I'm a more Yoruba, I'm a Yoruba girl, so
Hmm.
all day it's me.
Yeah, but either way, all these things that we've mentioned, it's not in any way meant to, you know, accuse anyone or bash the culture. It's just what we have observed. It's just observations. So at the end of the day, the differences are there, and while we may appreciate some differences, there's some differences that we feel like, oh, especially the ignorance part, that we want to educate the public, like, oh, this is how it is, so that way going forward in the future we don't have to have these experiences again. And I think
Right.
another one that I remembered is like being seen as an exotic exhibit, like especially with my hair. So I wear my hair out a lot.
Exhibit. Wow.
But I don't want to say, I think this one is even more common, like not just like,
Hmm.
Africans, like,
People just
black,
coming and touching your hair without
touching your
asking.
hair without asking. Like that was, to me, I was shocked when someone
Right.
did that to me. I was like, oh no, like you can't just like walk up to someone and touch their hair. And I know it's nice, it's fascinating. Like if you're not used to like a certain hair texture, but me, I wouldn't just walk up to someone. So I've had to like really learn how to set boundaries. And thankfully now, I mean, anybody that comes up to me and they try to, I just be like, oh sorry, you know, especially if I don't even know you. If you're someone that I was close to, I mean, sure, why not?
Hmm.
But someone that I don't know and they just want to touch my hair, like, I'm sorry, but no, because I wouldn't just come up to you and touch your hair. So definitely that, like, lack of personal space sometimes, especially with my hair. It's something I've experienced. So sometimes
Mhm.
it discourages me to wear my hair out because I'm always worried that are people going to try and touch me? Because I mean, to me, it's like this is not a new thing. I've not seen Afro before. Afro has been existing since like the
Mhm.
70s. People have been
Mhm.
wearing Afros for a long time, so
Mhm.
it's not like something new. But that's just something that I've experienced.
And
That
then I think lastly, people here, most of them have not even left the shores of their cities. Like, some people were born in a particular like city in a state and they have not even left that city. Talkers
like
that go around the
living,
state.
yeah, like
Like,
staying in
so
one place the
it was a
whole.
big shock for me coming from somebody who was like, I'm always eager to want to travel. Like, when I was coming to
Yeah.
America, I know how excited I was. I was like over the moon. And
Mm-hmm.
then coming here and people are like, oh, I've not traveled before. I've not gotten on a plane before. It was kind of like a
Mm.
shock. Like, ooh, but I think it's just a thing here. And like we said, all these things are like shock to us. It might
Yeah.
be a natural or normal thing here,
Mm.
not to bash anyone, but it was like a shocker for us for
Yeah.
sure. And the way people will go to Nigeria and experience some shocker as well, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to bash anyone.
Yeah, and I think
Bash.
yeah, I think part of the reason why we don't see a lot of people traveling outside of the US is because the US is like huge. It's really big. Each state can be like its own country. You
Mm-hmm.
can literally travel 24 hours
Mm-hmm.
and still be in the same state.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really that big. So it's not surprising to see someone who has actually never traveled outside of the US. But in other like countries like Europe, like literally between UK and France, you can get like a train from London to Paris and you're there in 3 hours. If you're driving 3 hours, you're getting from Maryland to maybe DC or something. So you're literally still in the same country.
Right. You'll be surprised the number of
So
people that have not even seen their family members in this country just because of
the
distance.
distance, so yeah, it's really big. Like
It
I didn't realize
is.
how big this place. And especially with the driving distance, like you're driving hours and hours just to get to somewhere within the same states.
Hmm.
So it's definitely it's kind of it takes a toll on you. The driving and also the public transportation is not as vast as it is in some countries. So that's another difference that I noticed.
So all in all, even through these experiences, we've learned to adapt as well as help people with the ignorance and share and educate people.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many times I've had to tell someone that
Mm.
Africa is a continent. I am from Nigeria. Nigeria is a whole big country on its own. You want to know the number of people who live in Nigeria right now? The population, millions. I think it's 120 million the last time I checked.
It's not like 200 million.
200. See,
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't have the
200.
figures right now, but it's a lot. It's
We're a
in
lot.
millions.
Yeah,
The
millions.
place where I grew up in Lagos alone,
It's like
millions
20
too.
million. Yeah.
So it's good for people to be educated and learn to read and just study. Like we've learned some things about America by the virtue of study, asking questions as well, not
Oh
just
yeah.
acting ignorant. So it's
Mm-hmm.
always good to leave that space, and we give grace anyways. I give grace to people. I
Oh
give
yeah.
grace.
Yeah.
I
Like
give
it's
grace
not
for
a way of
sure.
like basically insulting anyone. It's just more of an education, right? This is like a PSA, a public service announcement.
O'Shea PSA to the right, to the left, to
So
the P, to the S, to the A. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, that was
so yeah. So I hope you guys learned something. And if you're someone who's looking to come to the US, please come. It's a wonderful country, very
we
diverse.
love it here,
We love it here,
but we love
and
Nigeria too.
exactly. So everybody's welcome. And that's one thing I love about this country. Like they don't, even though sometimes it might seem like you know people are not gonna accept, they're very accepting,
Hmm.
very loving. It's a
Hmm.
wonderful country, and I think I'm glad I'm here for sure.
Yeah, so
So
thank you guys for
USA,
staying
USA.
tuned with us to the T to the E to the N to the I, Teni, to the A
Yes,
to the D to the E to the J to the O to the K.
we 100 years
Stay
to spell like this.
so guys,
The A to the
good to have you guys back.
oh yes.
Please
Hopefully you
watch
guys
this video, subscribe,
absorb,
comment.
recreate, procreate, and educate. Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
guys. Love you.